Welcome to Crappens. Don't wait a week for a new video. Join our Patreon at the Crappens On Demand level for instant recap access. Link in description. Enjoy the show.
Hello and welcome to Watch for Crappens, a podcast about all that crap on Bravo that we just love to talk about. I'm Ben Mandelker. Joining me today from Palm Springs, the one and only Ronnie Karam. Hi, Ronnie. How are you?
Well, hello. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to talk some more Below Deck Down Under today with you. Are you
Me
excited?
Too. Yeah.
Good. We have 2 episodes. This is the recap of the first episode. We're on video. Go to patreon.com/watchforcrappens. Support on Crappens on Demand level, and you can watch us on video. It's really great. Get access to our bonus episode and all our previous bonus episodes. So do that. That's also very fun and worthwhile. It's coming Monday. We got Crappy Hours coming back. That's our, it's like the new iteration of Take a Seat, where we go on to IG Live and we chat about Bravo gossip, whatever's going on in Bravo, whatever's on our Bravo minds. We talk about it, take questions from you guys, etc. So go follow us on Instagram at Watch for Crappens. Go follow Ronnie at Ronnie Karam and me at Ben Mandelker. And then the other thing is we have a new Dwell Hello coming up this week. So that's available exclusively on Wondery Plus. So if you like House Hunters or House Hunters International, we have a really great time doing our Dwell Hellos. We do it every 2 weeks. So go sign up for Wondery Plus, which would also give you Crappens fully ad-free. So that's a perk too. So that's really all the fun stuff. And now even the funner stuff. Whoa. Is Below Deck Down Under. Whoa, another 2-episode bonanza.
It sure was, and there's some hot new action in there, hot new guy in there. I just wanted to show you. So I'm still in this place in Palm Springs. Can you see this? Let me turn it to
A lot of lime. Is that lime or chartreuse?
It's lime. My friend Jessica said chartreuse as well. I say lime, but whatever. I guess I'm not as gay as you two. Do you see this painting? I don't know if it's just it's my gayness or if it's Palm Springs' gayness. I just see penises like playing penis swords. Isn't that just what that is? Aren't those just penises coming at each other?
They could be just horizontal penises. It probably is.
Because they're not just horizontal. It's not like they're just lines. And I'm saying, wow, they're straight lines. They must be penises. They're lines with like a head at the end. And then they're just like coming to like, I don't know, like what do you call that? Sword fighting? When you're like penis sword fighting. And then look at this pillow. At first it looks like a flower, but isn't it a bunch of penises going in on one thing?
Yeah. Yeah, that's like bukkake.
I think that's like the only kind of art you can get in Palm Springs. It has to either be Marilyn Monroe, Audrey Hepburn, or some kind of like penis representation.
Well, the Airbnb that I've stayed at repeatedly in Palm Springs is actually owned by 2 lesbians. So the artwork is very different.
Oh, God, is it all like native? My lesbian aunt, Josie, loves her velvet painting of Native American women in like with jugs.
No, it's not like that, but it is it's not. First of all, it's not crazy, okay? Because like gay men, when we decorate our Palm Springs houses, it's like literally every Tom of Finland poster or penis abstract art, like everywhere. Because it's like I can't go 3 steps without seeing something that like makes me horny, right? But I feel like the lesbians who I stay with, and I don't stay with them, but I stay in their house, their place is just kind of like, okay, here's like a sensual body in this one corner, and that's pretty much good for the house. Like we've made our mark, and we don't need to like be reminded on every wall and surface. So it's a totally different vibe.
Oh gosh, it takes us all to make the school bus run, doesn't it?
Does it?
I don't know.
I feel like it just takes one person to make the school bus run.
It literally just takes one until it breaks down, and then it takes a person to fix the tire, and then it takes a person working at the insurance company, and then it takes a person to do the paint job or the bus hit the curb. So it takes a village, guys. It
takes a village to pile into the school bus and then hand out Jolly Ranchers and like use that as currency, because that's what my school bus experience was like as a kid. It was like whoever had the Jolly Ranchers was like, that was like the jail currency, It's like whoever had the Jolly Ranchers was popular.
Not me. I grew up in El Paso. I grew up in like I grew up on poor bus. There were no Jolly Ranchers. Okay, they were like, here's a piece of gravel from the outside. Let's all suck on it and talk about what flavors we like.
And honestly, probably tastes better than Jolly Ranchers. Let's be honest.
It does. I've had those recently. Wow,
terrible.
have those fallen, or have they always been shit?
I always hated them, but I would carry my little bag of it because everyone had their little bag of Jolly Ranchers, and because like you're either the person asking for a Jolly Rancher or you're the person giving a Jolly Rancher. So I was like, this is my sphere of power is that I can give away Jolly Ranchers.
Well, if that ain't a life lesson.
Right.
Okay, so let's get on with it. So, am I on the correct one? We're doing. No, wait. Is it 212 or?
We're starting with 212.
Guys, I almost spoiled the whole thing. I was on the wrong episode.
No, we're on episode 212. You'll know you're on episode 212 because it opens with a kangaroo on a beach, which is a pretty exceptional moment.
It was exceptional. I think my editor was off today, the one who's been like, I'm going to show a fabulous fish at the beginning of every episode now. And now we get a kangaroo. No.
Yeah, a little off-brand.
You can't change it up. Like now there's like a land crawler. Disgusting.
Yeah, and like a kangaroo on the beach. I don't know. I don't need any vacationing kangaroos, but I think it was actually an omen of things to come.
Kangaroo
because we
Jack.
all know Kangaroo Jack. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
good point.
I
didn't even think of that.
Yeah,
I was like,
I
oh
didn't
my
think of it
God,
either.
full circle, Kangaroo Jack.
He was there to retrieve his buddy. He was like, your time has come. Join me now. It's like the messenger. It's like, I am here now. But there was plenty of beautiful underwater photography these 2 episodes. There was like, we got everything. We got all the stars, We got like there's that one small shark that they always film on the bottom of the ocean, sort of like looking around. And then we got a big shark that looked like had halitosis. It was like that person who shows up in the morning with a cup of coffee, but you still smell their halitosis through their coffee breath, and it's like the worst. That shark was going through. We saw those really beautiful small fish who are always next to each other. We saw them. I mean, we got
saw
everyone.
The little orphan Annie shark with all the freckles. That was really cute.
Yeah.
It's like that's a hard knock life. We saw, I sometimes wonder if fish in this ocean are disgusted by all the other oceans because I feel like other oceans are disgusting. Like these fish are literally fabulous. Like the couple, the neon couple.
The neon
they're
couple
not
is
only
my
neon. They're like, the movie Alien where they have like, I don't know, not the movie where the face comes out of the face, but there's something where there's like 3 like elephant trunks that make a face. Do you know what I mean? But they're like neon and fabulous, and there's 2 of those hanging out. And
those neon couple,
fish.
they are a power couple. They are a power couple of the fish world, right?
And I feel like people are like, oh my God, you're a power couple. You're so rich because you're so neon and everybody gives you so much shells, so many shells. You could do whatever you want. You could travel anywhere. And they'd be like, everywhere else is disgusting. Like, have you seen our neighborhood? Why would we go to hideous oceans?
No one is actually friends with that neon power couple because the truth is that when you talk to them, they're a little obnoxious. They're like a little too aware of how much they're the power couple. Yeah.
Like literally everywhere you go, people are just staring at you like, is that hideous or is it gorgeous? They get free meals today.
Yeah, it's like we'll either hang out with the power couple or a 5-head, So what choice do you have?
5-head was banned from these 2 episodes.
He was not on it.
I think the editor, the camera crew finally found like the hot neighborhood, and they were like, "Whoa, we've really been hanging out too close to the Walmart." Okay, we're branching out a little bit, and we're getting the neon alien face fish.
I think actually 5-head made a brief cameo, and I think that 5-head was swimming away from us, so we really only saw its tail. But I was like, the size of that fish has to be 5-head because there's no other fish we've seen that's as big as that one.
Actually, you're right. Yeah, we did see it. We did get like an ass shot of 5-head, which we'll get to because it's in my notes here somewhere.
Oh, okay, good. So the wildlife is really popping off. And an anchor is dropping. Oh, yeah, because an anchor has been dropping for a week on this show because Adam decided to just go out to the back of the boat and drop an anchor, even though there was never any order to drop an anchor or to even engage an anchor. It was just like, hey, get ready to drop an anchor. So he dropped an anchor and it's going nuts and he's trying to stop it and it's like a disaster and he's about to die.
And the boat's going full speed ahead. Okay.
Full speed.
So that's very dangerous, apparently. As Joao tells us, that chain can whip up and take your head off. And the chain's dropping rapidly. And then Adam finally stops it. And Joao's like, what happened, mate? And Adam's like, I had to take off the brake to engage it, and it just started to run, you know? It was like when I tried to get Kangaroo Jack's autograph. Just gone. Never saw it again.
You know, my hope is that when I get done with the summer, I can just buy a house for that anchor. That's all I want.
All I want is an anchor big enough for my mom to live on it, along with my brothers and my sisters and my aunts. All right?
Now, listen, this is kind of a spoiler, but if you're listening to this already, you probably already know what happens. If you don't know what happens, then you probably, I don't know, like find out what happens and come back. But this is kind of like the last hour we have with Adam. And so they really amp up the Adam wants to buy a house for his ma and his siblings. Because it's like every 2 lines, he's like, oh man, I really fucked up. And all I want to do is buy a house for my ma and the kids.
Yeah,
I don't
I'm
know if
sick
I'll
of
be
it.
able to. I'm sick of it.
Hearing it. You know, it's like too much, Adam. We get it. Like when you have to tell us how charitable you are, I don't believe you. At this point, I feel like he pushes his mom down the stairs and like takes his brother's lunch money because he's trying too hard to make me think he's charitable. Also, you know what? Buy a man a fish versus teach a man to fish. Okay. How about instead of trying to buy your mom and your brothers a job, you like send them to community college? You know what I mean? Like I'm
Or learn
starting
how
to
to
get
build houses.
resentful. I'm getting resentful of Adam's family now. I'm like, what are you going to do? What do they do? Just sit around all fucking day and do nothing? Like,
Thank you.
Are they completely incapable?
I'm starting to get resentment towards his mother because I kind of feel like his mom calls up and says things like, oh, well, Adam, it was another tough day. Guess I won't be living in a house anytime soon. I kind of feel like she guilts him into this.
She does.
You know?
She's like, I hope you're enjoying the ocean while I'm sitting here in my living room, kitchen, bathroom combo.
It's kind of funny because we're kind of both out to sea right now. You're down in Australia, and I'm just floating around in a sea of despair. Anyway, hope you're having a great day.
You're in an ocean, and I can't find a restaurant within a 5-mile radius that's got a health department score above C. That's what we are.
I can't help but notice the irony, sweetheart, that you're on a boat floating in the ocean, and I'm just sinking in an apartment for the rest of my life.
Just waiting for a life jacket, honey. Just waiting for a life jacket.
Have a great day, sweetheart.
So also Joao this show is the king of over promising us stuff, you know, because every week they're like, oh my god, we're gonna crash, and then we don't crash. But this week Joao actually says that chain can whip off and behead people, and I was like, well, where's that? I mean, if you're going to give me 2 episodes of this show a week, I need some beheadings. Knock some fucking heads off. I want to see it.
You don't realize how dangerous a chain going that fast could be. It could whip up. It could snap off your head. It could become prescient. It could become our new overlord. And then all of a sudden, we are all slaves to the chain. And we have to do everything for it. And it's forcing us to sail our boat from country to country so it can go and pillage cities and take over households and ruin people. You don't understand how dangerous this force is that Adam just released. Or it could be perfectly fine. Either way, it can go either way.
It's okay. It turned out to be okay. So then Captain Jason's like, a crew member dropping an anchor while you're on the way. The damage to the boat. The damage to himself. He could have ruined our whole season. I'm furious. It's like, I'm going to need a little more from you.
Yeah. By the way, dropping an anchor while we're underway is the new... This is a retrofitted boat from 1977. It was a Japanese fish with 1 prop. Now it's
single prop.
Dropping an anchor while we're underway. He's going to say that about 10 more times this episode.
So Anchor's home now. They work it out. And the captain's just sighing. And Adam and Joao, Adam's just like, whoa, I thought I'd let it off the brake first. And Joao's like, no, you engaged the clutch. The brake is last. Clutch, then brake. And Adam's like, but it's different in cargo, bro. For fuck's sake, you can't just keep saying that.
I know. You don't call it Babwe Zim. It's Zimbabwe. Things have to be in the proper order.
Everything's different in cargo. So Adam's like, oh my God, for some reason in my head, I was like, whoa, this is how you do it, you know? Gosh, that's how you drop it on commercial boats. I crisscrossed my trains of thought, and now Jason's looking at me like I'm some kind of idiot. Adam. You're some kind of idiot. You're a nice one.
You're nice, and I genuinely feel bad for you by the end of this process because I do think you are actually like a very nice person, but you are some kind of idiot. Dun 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 dun.
I wish I could listen to that if only I had a radio. They won't allow it here in this 8-person raft. Me and your brother's living in the middle of Brooklyn.
Listen, I get like, you're not on a cargo boat. You're not on a cargo boat. You can't keep saying that. You're on a yacht. You got to do yacht things on a yacht. Okay. It's like, it's like going, it's like saying, oh, I used to work at McDonald's, but now I work at Le Bernardin. And then you just like walk up to a table and like, do you want to have a combo with that? Like, you're like, oh, sorry, that's what we used to do at McDonald's.
Do you want that biggie sized for an extra 99 cents?
Would you like a grimace shake with your lobster? Oh, sorry, that's just what we did in McDonald's.
But also, he's like, it goes the opposite way on cargo. But why would you engage the clutch? How could you do the brake and then the clutch? I don't think it works that way on any.
I feel like he's lying.
Any moving thing.
I feel like he's
because we
ill-informed.
literally saw him walk to the. I think he's like stoned or something because we saw him walk right to the anchor thing and just go bloop and just watch it start dropping. He didn't even move until people were like, we're all gonna die. We're all gonna die. He was like,
hey,
oh.
Future beheaded person, could you stop that? Yeah. I don't think he crisscrossed his trains of thought. I think he just didn't have a train of thought. The fact that he's even thinking about trains when he's on a boat, that's the problem.
He's like, I brought down the warning signals, but the bus didn't move off the tracks. Now everybody's dead. Takes a village to crash a bus. Like, wait a minute. You're crisscrossing your villages.
Yeah.
Okay, so, Aisha checks on the guests now, and she's asking them how they know each other. And one of them's like, well, Paulie's my housemate. And Paulie said, yeah, I told her, if you come to Australia, I'll look after you. For a while, not for years. Look how long she's been here.
Muriel, you're awful. She's like, I'm not Muriel. Yeah, but that's what we call Americans who stay around for too long. Sorry. Yeah. Terrible, I should say, not awful.
So then there's silence. So we know that there's more trouble coming. And so the captain's like, all right, we're going to not start needing to put 2 into the water. And Joel's like, you've got this right, Adam. And he's like, yeah, just tell me when to light the bomb. All right, I got the match. You just tell me. No. Don't bomb me. That's not what he said. That's what we do on commercial, though.
No. Just okay. You can put down that TNT. I don't even know where you got that, and that anvil too. And what's up with that Acme hole that you just hold a hole and then now it creates a hole in the deck? Did you go to the Wile E. Coyote store before you got on this boat?
He's like, they're gonna cut my head off, bro. So then the captain is telling the engineers, so wow, this guy's an idiot. And Harry just comes up to Adam and goes, free fall, eh? Free fall. What's that free fall? That's how my heart felt the first time I saw Margot.
It's also a description of Harry's love life. So Adam is the sort of person that when he fucks up, he just like passes he passes like the rage forward, but he punches down. But since he's already at the bottom of the totem pole on this boat, his like the next step down is a door. So he's like in the bathroom.
Objects. Yeah.
Because like he's definitely the sort of person. Like if someone yells at him for doing a bad job, then he yells at the people who are below him. That's how he's got to deal with it. No. So he's just like in his bathroom. And he's just like trying to close the door, and he can't even close the door properly. And he's like, "Fuck you, stupid ass fucking door!" And he like kicks it.
This ain't how doors work on cargo. The fog.
You better not do that in your new house, okay? You ever get it?
He finally finds a house, and the mom's like, "It was a nice house until there were no doors." Adam got a couple numbers wrong on the lottery, and boom, all the doors were gone. Thank God he's not ever been disrespectful to this thing. Goddamn sink! Hey, so this house is all made out of very hard surfaces. When I move my mouth away to scream, can you still hear it really loud in the microphone?
No, it sounds like you moved your mouth away. It's nice and echoey. I like it.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so goddamn stupid ass fucking door. So Captain calls you out of the bridge, and meanwhile Aisha is with Serena, and she's like, she goes, so I've only got this bag, and it's not very professional to use in front of the guests. So Serena offers her a basket, and she's like, well, yeah, thank you, useful for once, you useless sling.
And she's like, what was that? I mean, you look how beautiful you are today. That's what I said.
Thanks, you look for that's really sweet of you, hon. You're welcome.
So now Jason is by himself in the wheelhouse, talking to himself. And he's like, I'm not getting what I want out of all the team. I don't want mistakes. And then Joao enters, the human mistake that is
He's like,
Joao.
who am I anyway? Am I my resume?
I just imagine that when Jason gets upset, he puts on his little kimono and just like thinks about things. So
The heat is on in Saigon. The chicks are hotter than hell. It's like that he's really in them.
why God?
So Joao comes up. I'm sorry I interrupted you because that was funny what you said there. Did you say the human mistake that is Joao?
It didn't really, there was nothing needed more to be said than that. So Jason is like, seriously? Saw watching a little Kristen Doty. Like, seriously? Mariposa? Like, I don't need to be coming into Anchorage and I've got a deckhand dropping an anchor down. That channel's 6 meters deep, okay? He lets it out in the channel, and ours is only 15 meters deep. And he lets it out, and I'm going to go past the vessel or something, and I think we all know what happens when you let out an anchor that's a little not the right size for the channel. Both vessels explode, okay? It's terrible what could happen.
Do you know how many beheaded people there have been? And the other day, the same deckhand messed up. At what point do we say, time for more experience on here? And Joel's like, well, he did mess up, but I'll speak for him and say that he's on the right page as far as being a deckhand. He's also been through trauma that's similar, and in a place less scary than Zimbabwe. I just need him to realize how lucky he is to not be from Zim.
Well, we've had the whole season to get going with this, and because the next one could be damage to the boat, the next one could be someone's finger, the next one could be someone's head, the next one could be just the evaporation of people's souls. Everyone's just going to go to hell if this guy doesn't get his work done, right? I think.
But we both have families in tiny spaces. We're both tiny house families. We were both tiny home families before tiny homes became popular.
Well,
Please,
something's got to happen. Are we trying to make changes? No. Will we make changes? Yes. Did I trick you with the first question? Yes. Am I happy about that? Yes. Am I doing whatever I can to find some joy in this very serious moment? Yes.
All crew, all guests have a diving excursion. Get them on the island ASAP. Do not repeat. I repeat. Do not repeat. One prop. Do not repeat it. All right?
Also, by the way, of course, Joao uses this moment to throw Culver under the bus, which, by the way, is deserved. I have no complaints with that. He's like, by the way, I know that Adam did something that could have caused our entire boat to crash and maybe even behead himself, but Culver is also very lazy. So I think actually Culver's the problem here. What do you think, Captain?
Yeah, at least he does more than Culver. Yeah, but he's almost like ruined the boat 3 times, okay? Railing, tender tying, this thing that just happened. Yeah. This was a really bad one, okay? I mean, you know, Culver can't destroy things if he's not touching them. So Culver wins.
By the way, my mistake. This was just Joao telling us. He was not telling the captain just yet that Culver is a problem. So anyway, excursion.
So they're all running to help the guests and stuff, get on the tender and go with Harry and Joao. And Harry is ignoring Margot today because, you know, he's 12. And she's like, hi, Care Bear. And he's like, hello. And it's really awkward. And he's like, since Margot put me in the friend zone, I'm going to put distance because I got shut down on my feet. So I need time.
I don't know. I think he's right to be like, oh, shit. Like, I honestly am like happy that for once we have someone on a guy on below deck who, when the girl says, I'm just not into you, that he doesn't continue to try to pursue her, a la, Gary or any number of the leches that are on these shows. So I was happy that Harry's like, fine, I'm just going to shut my mouth. I'm going to stop trying to do this,
Well, I'm not saying like, oh, God, I really if this is below deck, could you please get aggressive and insist that somebody like you? I don't mean that. I just mean he's suddenly like, hey, like, look, we're friends, to being like, hello. I'm just standing and driving and staring straight ahead and not ever smiling. Like, has he ever done that to anybody ever? I mean, I feel like he could be, talking to like Despicable Me, and he'd still be like, "Oh, you Despicable Me? God, I love to talk." He'd still be like guffawing, giving them
It's a smart move on his part because he's a lot hotter when he's not talking. And I'm not saying that his personality is bad. It's just that when he's is stoic and unmoving, he's like really, really hot. But then he starts talking, gets this goofy look on his face, like, "Oh, look, I'm on a Tinder."
I dated someone who told me that once. It was the rudest thing. They said I was way cuter when I didn't move. When I talked, my face looked very unattractive. How rude!
Oh,
I mean, I get it.
Rude.
I get it because, you can make like hideous. I mean, it was rude. I'm not like forgiving them or anything. I'm still traumatized, but I'm just saying, like, I've heard that criticism before, and I'm going to a dark place. So
no, but look. There's honestly
what they mean.
You know what they mean. I actually took a picture of Harry. I'm going to put it up on the screen so everyone can see who's watching. I'll get this going in the meantime. But it's going to be my proof that Harry is a lot hotter when he is not talking. No offense, Harry. He's cute when he's talking, but he's like hot when he's not talking.
Okay, so everybody is unloading stuff and doing this excursion, and Culver is eating. Of course, they cut to Culver. The next 2 episodes, all they do is cut to Culver eating. That's literally all he does. How is he able? I get that he works out and stuff, but do people who work out that much really get to eat that much? Because it makes me like I literally almost got on the floor and did push-ups, and then I remembered who I was, and it stopped immediately. I was like, "Your name is Rondell. You live on the second floor. You live upstairs from you. Yes, I think I've seen you before." I was like, I don't do push-ups.
Oh my God, I was singing that song last night.
I sing that song, I think, like 3 times a week still.
I sang that song mainly because someone named Luca joined the cast. So, of course, naturally in my head, I was like, "My name is Luca. I live on the second floor."
I live upstairs from John Stamos, and I stole his face from the floor.
God bless what's her face for all her very literal songs. Suzanne Vega for just writing songs about things that are around here. Like, I am sitting in a diner with a man, and it's like everything is just
very stream of conscious, like being in the present. It's very power of now.
It is. She's really, what an icon. I can't wait for her to join a Bravo show.
Whatever's happening, Culver's eating, okay? And I'm jealous. Like, at this point, I'm just like, fuck Culver. That's not even fair, I wish that Culver was gay just so I could, like, charm him somehow and then be his feeder. Because I'm, like, into that, I've heard of that. I've heard of that kink before, and it sounds hot. Just, like, finding someone to just, like, feed me stuff. And then they're like, yeah, you're getting fatter? Oh, yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah, it's like that song from the 90s by La Bouche. It's like, be my feeder, won't you be my feeder? La da da dee da 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 da.
Or if it was written by Suzanne Vega, it'd be like, I just opened Doritos and I'm putting them in your mouth and you're chewing them and then looking at me and I put a Coke instead of a Diet Coke. Feed it, eat it, feed it.
I just bought some Entenmann's donuts and I'm putting them in your mouth and you're eating them right now and it's a bond we have. By the way, I put Harry's picture up on screen. Doesn't he look? He looks. Do you see it? This is for people. This is why you should watch video, everyone, because now you get to see a hotter version of Harry. Right? That's hot.
Harry's so cute. Yeah, he's a cute guy.
Look at him.
He's cute when he's smiling too. It's just,
it's
just I think it's just and the flailing, but I think it's a cute, sweet guy. He'll find the right person one day.
Oh, he definitely will. He will definitely come out of this with.
It's just not hot dish up here. So he's there's a really awkward silence as they, tender over to the snorkel place, and at the end, Margot goes, "Good job, Harry," and he just keeps his jaw shut and doesn't guffaw at all. And I was like, uh-oh, he's making a stand. Dirty Harry making a stand.
Good for you, Harry. I say you focus on your job and you don't get distracted, okay? So, there's just like a whole bunch of activity. You know, the guests they're going to go on a dive. Tender's going back and forth. It's rainy. It's just one of those like moments. But most importantly, there's an adorable sea turtle. We've seen this one sea turtle constantly going on, like doing its power walking, its morning power walking. It's always swimming. It's always swimming to the right over the same rock. I mean, it's the same footage every week, let's be honest. But we always see that sea turtle. But in this case, we see the scuba divers, and the scuba divers are scuba diving near the turtle. And you know that turtle is like, honestly, could you please get out of my space right now? I'm just
No,
like
I
trying
feel like
to
that
do my
turtle's
reps.
so needy and just wants friends. And it's like, I think turtles have movies where humans can talk to them. You know, like you know how humans have movies that turtles can talk, and kids believe in them, and some of us adults. I think turtles have those movies too, and they're just like, oh, I'm going to just keep hanging out with all these humans, and one day one of them is going to talk to me because it's the same. It seems like the same turtle, and it follows them everywhere, and it's not the same shot. It'll be like nighttime, and the turtle's still like, hey guys, you know, like lifting that one fin, like, hey guys, don't pass me, didn't you hear me? And the humans are like, and the turtle's like, part of your world. It's singing like the Suzanne Vega of Little Mermaid, like, I see that boat pass by and I try to make those humans hear me, but they never hear me. Now I'm swimming, waving my arm as I'm swimming by.
I am swimming over coral. There's a starfish in the corner and a human's overhead. I wonder where they're going diving. As I look towards the conch on the seafloor, there's a moray eel, and I couldn't help but wonder, is one of them going to eat the other?
Shell, 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 shell. I live in a shell, shell, shell. So Margot and Joao are talking on this excursion, and she's small talking him. You know, she's like, "What's your favorite place to travel?" And he's like, "Zim." No, but like when you're not in Zim. In my mind, I could be anywhere in the world, and I just think of Zim.
Okay, well, pretend you were already in Zim and you want to travel out of Zim. Where's the place you'd want to go? Zim.
Sometimes I go to Parma because it reminds me of chicken parmesan, which is served at my favorite restaurant in Zim.
You know, that's in Mallorca, Spain. And you know what I like about going to Mallorca is that I like to say there may be an orca around here, and that reminds me of violent animals, and then that reminds me of violence, and then that reminds me of Zimbabwe.
So she's like, oh my God, I want to go to Parma so bad. I want to go visit Chef since she's saving you one next time. Wait, what? Oh, yeah, what's going on with you anyway? Because she said one time that next time she sees you, she's going to punch you in the face or something. And she's like, oh, did she say that? Well, I was with Sarina's friend, but it was just a hookup and she wanted more. Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Yeah,
you were
right.
very upfront with her, Joao. Listen, I'm buying this whole Joao edit. And I remember hanging out with people from Below Deck one time, Below Deck Med, when he was on that. Remember, they all came into town and we
Yeah.
went out with them one night. And they were so nice, by the way. Joao was not with them.
No.
But I was like, what a piece of shit this guy is. And why is he going to be on another season? And they're like, you know what? He's so nice in real life.
They loved him. They loved him. And yeah, so I was always like, but I don't believe it. And then that second season, Joao was better. And I was like, fuck this edit. He's still terrible. But now this is like 2 seasons where Joao has been actually like fine. So I don't understand. I still feel like he's a dick under there. You know,
I do
think that
too.
he's benefiting from people who are terrible at their job. So he, by comparison, you're kind of like, well, Joao has not done anything wrong here, you know?
Listen, he's like a Ronnie Fupa. It may not look like it, but there's a dick under there. And we all know it. It'll eventually come out.
Put that on the
okay?
t-shirt. Ronnie food. Not anymore, Ronnie.
Yeah, so he's like, I've already combed my hair like it's second grade class picture. What more do you want from me to prove that I'm a different man? So,
Wow, the echo in your house really made that so dramatic because when you speak away from the microphone, you hear your whole house echoing and it sounds like Joao was like bellowing from a mountaintop. Like, what more do you want from me? Me.
I don't think I can ever live in Palm Springs until Watch What Crappens is over because everything is made out of a hard surface because it's so hot here.
Let's be honest. You know that when we're 75, we're going to be still doing this show in muumuus, or actually, what do you call not muumuus? Beautiful long caftans in Palm Springs.
You saw me in my caftan, right? Did you see my picture of me in my caftan? Amazing. Yeah. Like, it changed my life. I'm a caftan person now.
Let me tell you something. One of the best shows we ever did was when we did a show in San Francisco wearing Patricia caftans. That was the most comfortable I ever was in a show, just wearing caftans for an entire. Why are we not wearing caftans for all of our live shows? It was so comfortable and beautiful.
We should do it.
Yeah.
So Margot's like, oh, okay, so I guess you and the chef are fine, huh? He's like, yes, we are fine together. So then the guests finish snorkeling and get back on the boat, and they're all taking shots out of their snorkels, and then they're drinking porn star martinis, which I feel like is dangerous. Porn star martini, that's a lot of fucking. Like, I like porn stars because I feel like it's the safest sex you can have because they're just on a computer screen. You know what I mean? I don't want to, like, drink them.
No. Well, the truth is that those porn stars were all over this boat a few charters ago, so they're going to be drinking a lot of porn star stuff.
And did you want to drink them? I did not want to drink those people. No, they seemed very nice. I wanted to party with them, like drink with them, but I didn't want to drink them. You know?
No. So then they're all like, the guests are teasing. I think they're teasing Emily. I kind of feel like all the women on this charter are named Emily, except for the one woman who's named Tamara, who I thought Tamara was going to be just a monster this entire episode because I felt like they teased it last episode. And then she's like, fine also. So they're teasing one of the Emilys about like being on Tinder because she's like, maybe I'll drop a pin on this boat and see what happens. And they're like joking to Harry. They're like, Harry, are you on Tinder? And he's like, oh, we'll lower the radius to like 1 foot and you'll see what happens. Oh. I'm like, keep your mouth closed. You'll do better on Tinder.
So then Aisha is getting ready for the Slim Aarons party, which is so funny because that's 70s Palm Springs pictures. And it's like, Slim Aarons was a photographer that used to take pictures of celebrities and also socialize back in the 60s and 70s.
This is one of those fun. This actually, I love this theme for a party. I don't know why we have not seen this theme more on Below Deck because it's wonderful. But that being said, it's also going to be hilarious to see a bunch of young people who are also mainly not from America try to figure out what the hell vintage Palm Springs is like because, they're all going to miss the mark.
Yeah. So they're going to do surf and turf and charcuterie for dinner. And then Captain Joao. So meeting in the bridge. Right, I want to talk about the anchoring. I'm concerned we're going through the next 2 charters with inexperienced dickheads. Bring Adam up here. So Adam comes and he's like, hey, is there a mystery? Is there a mystery you need Kangaroo Jack to solve? Did Kangaroo Jack solve mysteries?
No, but I think that Kangaroo Jack got his real estate license and got houses for families. That's why I love that movie. So Jason's like, I want to talk about the anchoring today.
Ma, you don't got to live in my pouch no more.
I want to talk about the anchoring today. Walk me through it. He goes, well, I went up there and I looked at it and I was like, hey, that looks like my ma. So I want to engage with it, but it was disengaged. So in my head, the way I've always been doing it for years on boats that aren't yacht was like just drop it from the brake. So I started to drop it, but once it started to run, like I put the brake pad back on it, like, oh my God, it like wasn't working. He's like, yeah, well, guess what? I never said drop it. So that's the first problem. Doesn't matter whether you do the brake first or the engagement first or whatever, the clutch or the brake, because I never said drop it. So that's a problem. Let's just let that hang in the air there for a moment. Let it sink into your head. It's not really sinking in, is it? I can tell. No, it's not.
And Adam really just looks like, but nothing takes away from your personality and your drive. Your personality is great. Your drive is great. Don't know who Kangaroo Jack is, but I love when you hop around the boat and say his name over and over while you cry, promising to buy him his own house one day. Very sweet. Unfortunately, probably going to have to fire you. Get out.
Unfortunately, we've come to realize that you're living in a Hallmark movie and we're on the Bravo channel, so this is not going to really work out.
So Joel's like, well, the attitude is definitely there as far as positivity. Well, guess what? Positivity doesn't save lives. You know who is positive? The orchestra on the Titanic. And they kept playing as that shit went down. They drowned playing the violin, sir.
Yeah.
Okay? Did that save the Titanic? No. Money did. That's what saved the
Listen,
the only people who got saved on Titanic were swept away on piles of money. Okay.
those fishermen in the Perfect Storm were also they were out there they were just catching fish to bring home to their families. That didn't work out so well. Okay, so the point is, although I think that's less their fault and their ineptitude, I think that's more just like giant walls of water. So maybe a bad example. But the point is, the outlook is not going to save you. So Jason's like,
positivity doesn't work. Okay, as I've told you many times on this show, positivity is a lie. So why bother?
Well, this is a hard one. I mean, Adam's a nice guy. I like him. Everyone likes him, and I can understand I can tell he understands what he did wrong. But I'm leaning towards letting Adam go because of the severity of what just happened. I have to give this some time and thought. Okay, I've given it like 3 seconds and thought about it. I'm going to fire him for sure.
Yeah. So everyone gets seated for this Slim Aaron's party, and Serena's like, my theme is vintage. Let's think back to the 70s. That's when surf and turf started. Haven't you done surf and turf on every
meal? I'm going to serve them a tomahawk, and then for the surf, another tomahawk.
And then going to be a tomahawk, but I'm going to put them on little surfboards. So it's like surfing, turfing. Understand?
And then I'm going to find something I can make brown and put into a bowl. So Adam's like, whoa, Joao, that was intense. And Joao's like, that's yachting, bro. Take it with a pinch of salt and keep rolling. It's sort of like making sushi in Zim. And it's just about putting more initiative into it, okay? Thinking on your feet. You do think on your feet, don't you? He's like, nah, I got to sit down before I do my thinking. Okay, but that would be a problem.
But I do sometimes think with my feet, which is weird. And Adam's like, it's an incredible mistake, and I can't believe I did that. I worked so hard for my family to put them in a house. I've been thinking about my mom all day because I understand the gravity of the situation. And you know what gravity does? It holds down houses.
My ma said that her favorite movie of all time was actually Gravity, and she said that if she ever gets stuck in space, that I should come find her. So to this day, I just want to get her a house so she doesn't have to go to space.
So guests want to play Truth or Dare with the crew because this is one of those group of guests who's just going to like sexually harass the crew as much as possible. Mm-hmm. And, I guess we all should wonder about double standards, et cetera, but frankly, I'm just not in the mood today.
They're just boring
people. I have
people.
no problem exploiting Joao. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they're also just boring people who are trying to do anything to be interesting and exciting.
I
they're
think
like
so too. It's white people having a white party.
Yeah,
celebrating
it's like
the
a bunch of
whitest
Kyle
shit that ever
Richards.
happened. Huh?
Yeah, this is like the charter equivalent of Lisa Rinna saying, "Why don't we play a game? 2 truths and a lie." That's what this group of people is. So
this group is like, pre-mixed egg whites that you buy in a carton at the store.
Wow, that's sad.
It's a lot of, and you're like, why isn't this coming up into meringue? And you're like, they do something to it. They do something in the carpet to homogenize it even more,
Yeah, I think the pasteurization does something.
Yeah.
Just a sad experience. So they're talking about wanting to bang. One of the Emilys is talking about wanting to bang Harry or something. So then Joao, there's Joao suggesting that Harry put on a blazer for the Palm Springs look. Harry's like, no, I think I look pretty good the way I do right now in my wacky shirt. And then Aisha's like, Harry, they want to have a threesome with you, so get ready.
She's like, you need to show the boys the ropes. Can you imagine Harry in a threesome? And then they cut to Harry like flailing all over the place. And she's like, he would not know what to do.
It would definitely be like having sex with a very large fish out of water, like that fish just flapping all around, and it's just like going to kind of ruin everything.
Harry's movements remind me of that chick who was in Showgirls from Saved
Elizabeth
by the
Berkley?
Bell. Yeah, it's
Elizabeth
like her
Berkley.
dancing. That's like
Yeah.
his mannerisms are like Elizabeth Berkley's dancing in Showgirls. It's just very like,
I was about to say, if you said Gina Gershon, I'd be like, I don't know. I don't know if I can co-sign this.
I'm not brave enough to diss Gina Gershon. I feel
No.
like Gina Gershon would show up at your house no matter where you are and just kick the shit out of you if you ever said something bad about her.
I'm ready for Gina Gershon to show up on Below Deck, where she just shows up and she smokes cigarettes at that table the entire time. And like, I'm so sorry, but we can't have smoking at this table. And she just takes a deep drag and goes, what are you going to do, Aisha? Tell me. What are you going to do?
Okay, so then Margot hears the threesome comment on the radio, and she's like, must be nice. Hope you guys have fun without me. And she's doing laundry. So they're making jokes about the threesome with the guests, and a guy's like, "Steak before mistakes." And Jack's like, you know how back in the day all the kings had gout? It was because they were eating like this. All just
Yeah.
very hilarious.
Yeah,
And then they
good
have salted caramel
factoid.
salted caramel panna cotta and mini cheesecakes and fondue.
Yeah, Joao brings a giant charcuterie board of desserts upstairs, and it's very scary. Is he going to drop it? But he doesn't. So the guests all love the food. It's just so much food. And meanwhile, Jason is texting his Norma. And he's like, hi, Australian Norma. I might need a new deckhand, someone with great experience, potentially someone who's attractive and looks like a celebrity sibling. So now the guests go to bed. Everyone's cleaning. Serena stubs her toe, so Joao starts putting like a little splint around it, and she's like, "Oh, I can't be hobbling around like this. No one's going to want to kiss me if I look like this, Joao."
He's like, you're full of shit. You make out like you couldn't be with anyone, but you don't actually want to be with someone. I mean, even someone standing right in front of you making a toe splint who's called you mediocre to your face.
I'm just a Zimbabwean standing in front of a girl, telling her he loves her to be in a splint.
Just a zim with a splint, standing in front of a toe, saying, why can't you be straighter, you mediocre looking toe? Some people are happy being with mediocre toes. Can't you see?
In Zim, we actually don't even have splints. If you stub your toe, it goes diagonal for the rest of your life. It's just the way we do it in Zim. It's a hard life.
If someone sees a broken toe in Zim, they take it off your foot and put it in a bag and steal it and try to sell it downtown.
That's just the way it goes in Zim. That's just the way it is. Some things will never change. So Joao's like, between myself and Zarina, it's hard to figure out where's the line. Where did the joke stop? Where did the joke stop and the Zim begins? I don't know if she would actually do anything because of a friend, but can she not just tell me how she feels? At the moment, I'm quite confused. It's like I'm standing on the border of Zim in Botswana. Which country am I in?
Do you know the way to Zim Swana?
I want to know what Zimbabwe is. I want you to show me.
I love Zim, but every day I'm learning. Okay, so morning. This is what happens when you give us 2 Below Deck Down Unders a week.
I know.
Okay, we're starting to crack. And how
I'm
are we
literally-
only on episode 12? when they keep saying, they're like, all right, everybody, we've only got 11 charters left. I'm like, what the fuck?
No, they did say, actually, this season I paid attention. They have 9 charters this season, and they are, by the end of the next charter is charter 7. So we only have 2 more charters left after this.
Oh, thank Jehoshaphat. I mean, I'm enjoying it. It's just
I love
a
this
lot,
season.
You know? Yeah.
By the way, every fucking week with this show, it always ends. I'm like, what the fuck is going on with this boat? I mean, this episode is like a whatever episode, but next episode I was like, what the hell? Every single week something crazy happens. Now I'm starting to realize why they're doing 2 a week, because it's like an onslaught of madness.
Yeah, it really is. Okay, so now it's morning, and Culver is having a breakfast shake instead of working because it's Culver. And I don't even know
Yes.
at this point if Culver is eating more than everybody else, or if they're doing the Hannah from Below Deck Med edit, where they just, no matter what's happening on the boat, they just cut to a shot of Hannah smoking somewhere.
Yeah. He's definitely getting the Hannah edit, but I also believe he's eating nonstop because we all know fitness guys, fitness bros are all about this. Remember Tony from Below Deck, the most recent Below Deck? He's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I need to work out. I need to have my food. And it's just like,
Yeah.
oh God, they're like the biggest whiners. Anytime you watch Survivor, the big muscular guys are the ones who are like, I need to have my protein. I'm like bigger. I burn more fuel. It's like, shut up.
Yeah.
Margot's in the galley, and Serena's like, "Oh, I was just thinking about you. Were you? Well, here I am." And then they hug, which is really cute.
She hugs everybody at all time. So she's showing Margot how to practice for margaritas, how to make margaritas. And Margot's like, I feel pretty good in laundry and cabins, but I learn the most when I'm helping Aisha. And I did kind of float the idea of being second stool for a charter. And she didn't say yes or no, but I feel like she was thinking about it. So hopefully she gives me that chance. I just want a vacuum.
Yeah. And Culver is still eating. I mean, we get so much Culver eating footage, and we already have a baseline high level amount, but it's really an overdrive right now. So Margot's serving some cocktails, and tonight's going to be the white party. And then Captain Olaf texts Culver. I was like, who is Captain Olaf? Is this a little snowman that's like has like an ice vessel?
Is he a saint that is like started a town that the Golden Girls old lady Sophia is
The
from?
herring
Well, no,
circus?
that was from where Betty White was from, right? St. Olaf.
Yeah, Rose.
That's where Rose was from. It's just the saint that Rose's town was based on. Yeah, Olaf. It's weird because they name Captain Olaf. It's also weird that it's in the med.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so is Culver gonna like get fired and then get to go on med? It's like their spin-off character. Like what's happening here?
Well, because I was like, but Captain Sandy is still, she hasn't been fired or anything. So Captain Olaf is a whole separate Olaf. And then I thought, what if Olaf is Sandy's like secret code? She's like, hey, I'm gonna text you, but no one can know that it's me, okay? Because I'm a little bit of a celebrity. I'm kind of a big star, okay? So when I text you, put my name down as Olaf. Put my name down as Olaf in your phone, okay? It's between you and me. Wink, wink.
So there he gets a text from Captain Olaf, who's like, "Hey, Teeth, crewing up in Barcelona, need deckhands and a stew. Are you available this summer? Bring your bleaching kit." And Culver's like, "A captain I previously worked for reached out and said he needs crew in the med." Now listen. Jamie lives on one side of the world and Kim lives on the other side of the world. So I need to figure out how to get in an adventure with her, and I think I might have something for us.
So now the guests are going down the slide, and the crew is getting into whites because tonight's a white party. Because of course it is, because these people are basic. And then Harry walks by the laundry room, and Margot's like, "Bye." And he goes, "Oh, hi." She goes, "Okay." It's like an Ingmar Bergman
She's
film.
like, he's
really.
being so cool to me. And that's why I didn't want to have that conversation with him. I just wish I never talked to him about it. And then we get a shot of this ground shark. I don't know what you call them, but it's
Yeah.
the sharks here, like they're always on the ground. I don't know why. But this one's like on the ground and it's just like bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, ba. The way it's just swinging its hips back and forth.
Yeah.
I was like, that is the sexiest fucking freckled faced shark I've ever seen in my life.
And it takes up
Like,
all
coming
three of the
through,
squares.
boys.
Yeah, it really comes through. That shark has a lot of presence because there's another shark later that's not quite the same. So meanwhile, Jason's getting impatient with the deck crew because he keeps on noticing all sorts of crap around or surfaces that aren't wiped and whatever. And Joao is changing in his room, and Culver's in there too. And he tells Culver, like, hey, go get, like, you should go do, like, a deck check or something like that. And meanwhile, Jason, while he's up
Culver
there...
goes, should we have some food and hang before service? He's like, no, go put the battery in the tender of the thing.
Yeah, because Jason has the radio to say, "Oh, Dick, just a reminder, you might want to turn the batteries off in the tender, you dumb fucks." So Culver's like, "Copy that, Captain. I'll make myself a Dutch baby, just exactly as you said."
So the guests are getting ready for their white party, and Culver says he turned the batteries off. And this is all very important for later, those of
Yeah.
you. So then Serena's like, for tonight's party, they wanted, glamour. So we're doing mushroom ravioli. You can't get subtly more fancy than that, can you? Is that
Then she serves a tomahawk.
a mushroom shaped like a mushroom? So then Isha hugs Jamie for setting the table. She's like, did you set the table, Jamie? Stop it. I could
And then Culver cuts to Culver downstairs, being like, "Oh, is this some of that halloumi cheese?" Because he's eating, of course. Now he turned on the lights or turned off the lights in the tender or whatever he had to do. So Joao then goes into the tender and he is annoyed. He's like annoyed in there, and he's like, Culver, what's your location?" He's like, "Chef Kim's bosom, at least in my fantasies."
But the mess. Come to the swim platform, please. Joao's calling Culver. So Joao's like, oh, Culver, you've gotten the tender, have you? But you've left shit on it. Clean it up. That's what I was saying about initiative. If you see something that needs to be done, do it. He's like, but I did see something that needed to be done. I saw halloumi cheese, and it needed to be swallowed. So I was doing that protein, bro.
And Joao's like, "Who gets into a tender, turns off the batteries, does not clean the tender, sand is everywhere, there's shoes, there's empty plastic bottles, and you don't think that maybe I should just clean this? Like you're talking about 4 years of yachting experience, just completely oblivious. I mean, he would never last one day in Zim."
He gives us like a nice random evil person laugh.
Yes.
And then Culver's like, well, I considered that a night job. Like I was going to do it at the 3:30 a.m. shift. He goes, but free now. Are we free now? Why wait until 3:30 to do what we could do in Zim right now? And Culver's like, no, but like, okay, I'll get it. I understand. I get it.
To be fair, it's also 3 a.m. in Zim at the moment, so get to it. So Culver's like,
You know what we say in Zim? It's always 3:30 a.m. somewhere.
that Matchbox 20 song was dedicated to Zim. It's 3 a.m. and I'm still reading, whatever that stupid song was. So Culver's like, is this constructive criticism or are you just being a dick right now? It's like, dude, thanks for making me feel like a piece of shit. I'm so fired to work for him now. I'm like, oh, here we go. The classic, I'm not motivated by my boss. I'm like, no, you didn't do your job. Your boss got mad at you. That's what happens.
Your boss's job is not to inspire you. Is Jesus your bosun? Okay? Fuck off, bro. Find your inspiration at the bottom of a glass like the rest of us.
And then we cut to the sexiest, most elegant, and glamorous couple in all of the ocean.
I called them alien vagina fish. What did you call them?
I called them iridescent fish.
I win.
Either way, they are there, and they're like, I have to tell you, that new restaurant that opened up on Melrose, it was divine. I mean, it was a soft opening, so you can't really get into it just yet, but we went because we were invited. We know the chef, and it was wonderful.
Soft opens. So Culver is talking to Joao, and Culver is really bothered that he got a note,
Yeah.
And so he's like, dude, I just don't want you to think that I was just blowing that off. You know what I mean, bro? And he's like, no, I don't think you blew it off. I just want you to think ahead. He's like, all right, well, I'm going to pop down now. And then he walks off and goes, that fucking bitch.
He's so mad. So then, guests gathering at a table for dinner, and Culver is like literally, he's grumbling. He's like, fucking jerk off, damn it. And then he has to clean some more, and they do a close up of Culver's plate of food. It just says under it, Culver's cold dinner.
Then we cut to Margot, and she's reading the back of a toothpaste tube. And she's like, whoa, that's in there? God, there's a lot of stuff in there. Look, Margot is just on her own fucking journey this year.
She's just discovering so many. She really is like doing the Ariel thing. She's like excited by forks and
Isn't it rich?
toothpaste tubes.
Isn't it neat? Peroxide, hydroxide, fluoroxide complete. Learning
Didn't
toothpaste
you know
for the
this
first time.
fixes cavities?
Wouldn't you know I'm a girl who's got plaque, apparently. I wasn't using this.
What do you
kind of
call it?
toothpaste.
Tartar.
So then Adam calls his mom, and he's like, Ma, I really messed up yesterday. And she's like, don't beat yourself up. You'll be in enough pain when you come back to this studio apartment with me and the 30 siblings who you're going to live with for the rest of our goddamn lives, because not one of you could hold down a job.
Now, hold on, sweetie. Hold on. Let me just do this wall crank thing. Sorry, I gotta crank it 30 times to make my phone work.
Hold on, hon. Trains passing through.
Hold on, lights are flickering. Hold on. Let me just, okay.
All right, that just woke up your brother's baby. Can we talk about this later?
You're doing great, sweetheart. Don't worry. If you mess up, it's okay. We're used to living in a tiny box. It's nothing. Don't worry about that house. I don't want it anyway.
So dessert is delivered, and meanwhile, Culver is microwaving, sadly.
Yes.
I mean, Culver is so horrified that he has to use a microwave. This kills the protein.
He is.
Microwave kills the nutrients in my food. How will I ever stay big?
He is a sad golden retriever right now, and he is droopy faced, and it is hilarious. I actually find that Culver is most endearing when he's frustrated. It's so funny watching him getting frustrated because he has he does have that golden retriever face, and watching it just sort of not being able to figure out what's going on and how we can't control the situation is deeply enjoyable to me.
Yeah. So Joelle's like, I'm just, and it just shows Joelle, because Joelle's watching this whole thing, and Culver's like, I hope he can see what he's done to me by forcing me to microwave. And Joelle doesn't care. He's just writing something down, and he goes, I am writing a list so we can all be on the same page to get us in. And Culver's just like, he sits down just so angry.
Here is my list. Okay. Number 1. Well, I actually say Z. Okay, clean the chamois. I use the clean chamois to wipe down the deck. M. Clean out the tinder. You get it. BABWE. That all makes sense. Those. I don't have to read those out loud, do I?
Let's put the we in Zimbabwe, shall we? Tomorrow. So Serena talks to the guests, and they're like, they want to do a budgie smuggler breakfast, okay? Which means all the crew has to come out here in Speedos. And then I thought, you know what? Fuck these people and their body privilege, because I am a waiter. I was a waiter forever, and I would have literally started sobbing. First of all, I'm sure they wouldn't make me do it. But then I thought, what about people who don't have perfect bodies who also want to make living in service? And fuck this show. Fuck this show holding everybody back. I'm sick of this show.
I would have been mortified if I had to go out, just because, no one needs to see what's going on under this shirt right now. It's a little
Me too.
dad
Where's
body,
Caftan brunch?
Yeah, let's how about that? Caftan brunch is the way to go, okay?
Yeah.
I did yoga last night. I was telling you before I did yoga, and I was like, okay, I've been working out a lot this summer. Ever since we wrapped up our tour, I'm like, I'm gonna use this time. I'm gonna go to the gym a lot and try to get myself into shape. And I'm like, okay, I think I'm starting to see some results. And I did yoga last night, and there's mirrors on the front and the back, and we had to get into Warrior 2, and I do Warrior 2. And I literally look like a sack of groceries with arms sticking out. And I was like, this is...
A sack of groceries?
I've done nothing. Nothing has changed. Nothing has helped. Everything looks so strange. And then we had to do some twists. And there's something about the twists. I was like, no. And I just kept on seeing it. I was like, And then I came home, watched the show, and I was like, God forbid. This is why I can't work on a yacht, because I would not be able to do it.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Budgie smuggler brunch.
Show. So let's see. So now Jamie is flirting with Culver, and he's like, a to-do list. Ugh. And she's like, I haven't seen you today. And he's like, well, I have to talk to you about this sweet gig. This captain reached out to me about a deck crew and a stew in the med. And it's going to be a sweet. What are you looking over there for? I could swear that I hear your voice coming from behind the refrigerator over there. No, it's me gonna talk. Can't you see me talking? Your lips aren't moving, though. They are. Yeah, they are. Moving right now. Saying Dutch baby. Dutch. Wait.
Okay, so what's this strange request that you have? You said something about a Captain Olaf. Is that a real person, Captain Olaf, or is that just like some sort of strange holiday thing that you and Chef Kim do together?
He's like, well, we could do it. They need a stew and a deku. We could have a sweet time together. And she's like, oh, well, my good, well, oh, wow, well. And she tells us, I'm speechless. I've known Culver for less than a week.
He's like, it's okay. You can sleep on that. I think it'll be a fun season. Okay, working on getting Chef Kim on board too. I mean, it's gonna be great. You, me, and my mom, all the loves of my life. So he's like, even though I've only known Jamie a short time, since you got here, we've had an immediate connection. This isn't just like a little flirty boatmance. I feel like there's more here, and that's why I'm gonna act on it. I'm like, yeah, you're two attractive people on TV in close quarters. Don't know if there's so much of a connection. Yeah, I think you're just
It's literally not spoken at all, I don't think. I don't think I can remember one conversation you've actually had, except I want to make out with you and Serena's mean. Like, that's it.
yeah.
So then, of course, the producer cuts to Jamie, and he's like, what label would you put on it? She's like, Boatmans. What else? Loser. So she's kind of uncomfortable, right? So then we cut to the most gorgeous fucking jellyfish.
I wrote down fabulous jellyfish. This beautiful. The jellyfish is like, I hear there are caftans on this episode, and I have arrived with mine.
I know. I hear somebody wants a caftan brunch. I'm here, bitches.
Gorgeous, beautiful. It was like, it's like the Ellen Green of jellyfish, I believe. You know, in my mind, that's what Ellen Green is like, even though I don't think that she actually is like that in real life. I imagine Ellen Green showing up in my life. Ellen Green shows up in like a big gown at like a Broadway event. It's like, I'm here,
Mr. Mushnick. So then it's the morning, and Aisha goes to the captain, and she's like, if I bring you a big plate of eggs, will you bring them out and your poultry smugglers? And he's like, no. Please. Everyone wants to see Captain McCory's package.
listen, I can't just be walking around in budgie smugglers. This boat right here is a 1977 fishing boat that's been converted into a yacht with one prop. It requires full attention.
Can't you just pretend for the morning that you wore the single prop? Oh, do the helicopter. Let's get it rolling, eh?
So now there's cleaning, the guests are gathering, and Jamie tells Margot that Culver asked her to join in on a med season, and Margot's like, "Oh, really? What did you say?" And Jamie was like, "Well, I was like, oh," and Margot's like, "That's a big deal, no? I mean, did you say yes? I mean, everyone knows that boatman says that go from one boat to the med really work out well, right?" And then I'm just imagining like, "Did you say something, Dave?" over in the Mediterranean, echoing through my head.
I know where the Malia and Tom one, where she's like, oh my God, it's so amazing to have my boyfriend chef on board. He's like, fucking potatoes. God damn you, touching my potatoes. Dyed potato hell, rotten hell potato motherfuckers. Like, oh, this is going to be fun.
I think the med is actually where boatmances go to die. I also remember Rob and that Jessica, their terrible codependent relationship. It's bad.
Terrible. But Margot's like, oh my God, this is huge, right? And Jamie's like, it is huge, isn't it? She's like, it is. It's so big. Tell me more. Tell me more. Like, does he drive a car? So then Joao and Serena, we're just going to do like every old musical today. I don't know why we keep
I was like, wow, we were really racking up the show tunes today.
We are. It's the Palm Springs of it all. So Joao and Serena are talking, and he's shucking oysters for her. And she's like, I can't believe how much we're bonding. And he's like, does it come as a surprise to you? And she's like, I guess you're just really lucky to have me in your life, aren't you?
And then she's like, you've changed. You're different.
There's something about the wounds, tomahawks, on surfboards, surf and turf in the woods.
If I could serve tomahawk off your chest.
I surely would, and it would be the best.
It takes Zim to get through the charter season. It takes Zimbabwe.
So
We got. No, I'm not even going to. I'm not even going to.
So, hold on, let me see how long this has been.
An hour, 9 minutes. Almost as long as.
Okay, we've got more time. You've changed your daring. There's something about the Zim.
Not the girl I was hooking up with, just a chef. There's something about the Zim.
Okay, so then we go to Harry and Jason, and Harry brings the captain, the budgie smugglers. And the captain's like, I don't want those if you've worn them. And he's like, then no, come on. And he's like, I'm not convinced I'm going to do this. Which, of course, you're going to do this.
Of course
they didn't hire a captain who works out as much. They didn't hire you for your record of not crashing into restaurants on docks. You know what I mean? Get your ass in the budgie smugglers, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, stop acting like you're not going to. So Aisha is like, goes out to the guest, and she's like, well, we're going to be serving you some hot stuff with some hot stuff. And then everyone comes out in the budgies, and then everyone's like, wow. And then Captain Jason, he's in the budgie smugglers, and of course he looks great. And Zarina's like scandalized. She's like, oh. She turns into Aisha for a moment. She was like, her cheeks were turning red. She enjoyed it.
So he comes out, he's really hot and everything, and then he gets a text, and Captain Olaf is like, I found a lead deckhand in New Zealand 2 hours away. And then it cuts to Adam. He's like, oh my God, I really don't want to get fired today, bro. Mama, can you hear me? No, because I'm on the other side of the house that you bought me.
Mama, can you hear me? No, I can't, because there's a train going by the apartment. Give it 5 seconds.
So now anchor up, guests check out the bridge. Culver is talking to Serena, looking for a blender. He cannot find a blender anywhere.
This is the best part of the entire night. He is like, yeah, he needs a blender. He's like, hey, do you know where that blender thing is? I'm like, blender? So she's like, I don't know. You're the only person that uses that stupid thing. That's why it has a picture of Chef Kim pasted onto it. So he's like looking around, and he cannot find his little whatever device he uses to make his protein shakes, and he is spiraling downwards.
And he's like, I need my shake. Fuck. And he's looking everywhere, having a fit. Everybody else is working except for him. So then he moves on to Jamie. He's like, have you seen the little blender? It's right in front of the blender.
There's a regular blender.
They show it. Well, they show a blender, but they also show the shake attachment sitting right in front of the blender.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
And I don't know if this was tricky editing or what it was, because I do this shit all the time where I'm like, oh my God, guys, I'm so sorry I'm late. I can't find my keys. What the fuck? And then you find them sitting right in front of you on the kitchen counter. I do this shit all the time.
Well,
so
Culver
I'm guessing that's what it was, but the point is he is just throwing a fucking fit.
And he's like cursing, and he's opening and closing cabinets like crazy. And he asks Jamie, and she's like, no. And then he is like, he can't figure out anything. And meanwhile, the surfaces are all wet outside, and the guests are gonna be coming out. And so Jason's like, all right, Culver, can you wipe down these surfaces? I need someone to chamois the forward, okay? And of course, Culver's not going out there because he's looking for his protein thing. And so Jason's like, deck crew. And so now Culver's outside. And he's like, dude, God, what the fuck? What the fuck are people doing? He's like, has like a Sandoval petulant moment.
We're fucking on it, bro. And so Joao hears him, because he says that as he's passing by Joao, because, he didn't have a shake. So Joao's like, oh, I see this little boy having a tantrum about a direct order from the captain, and it infuriates me. I am furious. And so Aisha's making drinks for guests and sends them over there. And now it's time to do the ropes since Culver's still not there. And Harry's like, well, I guess we can do the ropes without him. And Joelle's like, Culver, Joelle, please meet us on the stern so we can get to this.
And and meanwhile Zarina's helping Culver make his shake because she's like, okay, just pour it in the blender attachment, okay, and then you just press this button and you do that. He's like, oh, okay, all right, I see this now. And they're like asking for him to come up on deck and everything, and then he finally comes up, and now that he's had his shake, so he's like a little bit more chill.
So then the captain is getting tattletale. So Joao is tattletaling basically already on Culver. And Joao's like, I have to have a chat with Culver again because he was having a fit about cleaning this area. You called us a third time and he had an absolute fit about it. And I just wanted you to know because we're on the same team and it's all about teamwork.
Well, I'll tell you where my head's at. In my bungee smugglers, okay? And you know what? The inexperience of Adam, I'm thinking about bringing a lead deckhand in. I mean, someone with experience, that should shake Culver up. Someone with experience. And Joao's like, I don't think it will.
Yeah, it's like, I don't think so. And I haven't had a problem except for the safety thing that came up with Adam. Oh, yeah, and that's no big deal on a boat, Joao. Like, I get that you guys bond, that you come from, like, you know, rough and tumble childhoods or whatever, where kids, like, you had to save your brothers from getting beat up. Like, I get it, but he's hurt the boat 3 times, dude. Okay?
Yeah.
Can we just fire everybody? I mean, shit, if you're going to have this many episodes, you might as well just bring in a new cast. Why not? It's below deck.
He's like, well, I know if you mess up, especially when it comes to anchors and safety, are you going to make it 90% of the time? No. Are you going to make it in Zimbabwe? 100% no. But your job is at stake. However, if anyone does firing, it's Culver. It's sure he didn't almost plunge the ship into the bottom of the ocean, but he drinks a lot of protein shakes, and that really bothers me.
But the one thing he's really good at is swimming. Wait a minute. Never mind. He can't swim either. Like, how are you standing up for this guy when he doesn't even know how to swim and he gets seasick? Come on, Joao. So the captain's like, well, my mind is bringing on a lead deckhand with experience and a nice big package in case we're forced to get back in budgies. God forbid we get a chubby person on here, and I think I've got one.
You know, it's actually just about seamanship. Excuse me? Seamanship. We need to have lots of seamen on this boat. That's the problem. I found that there's just not quite enough seamen, and we need to bring more seamen in. That's what this ship needs right now.
Well, in terms of safety, Culver's not called out on safety because he's not doing anything. And he's like, all right, I'm over this. This topic needs to be put to bed with seamen. I hear you.
And that was the cliffhanger. Will Adam be fired? Will Culver be fired? Who will be fired? Someone's going to go. So nobody knows. We'll never know unless we listen to the next episode. So everyone, thank you so much.
We do know. Spoiler alert. We watched it. We watched it.
We know. We literally know everything. So everyone, thank you so much for listening and being here and watching. And, just keep an eye on your podcast feed because part 2 of Below Deck is going to be coming up at some point, probably tomorrow. And we'll catch you on the next one. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.